The education system, a tough road for many individuals and even tougher road.
Hey, so go watch Moira's video on growing up with vacterls and the education system. So my story with growing up with vacterls and going to public school, I started kindergarten in 1994. I was allowed to go to the bathroom whenever I needed to in school because of my medical issues. However, in high school, I claimed my leg acting up, the hemangioma on my leg that I've mentioned previously. It does act up randomly. It's not random. And at the time, I didn't know why. Turns out it's not random. It's low pressure. It turns me into a human barometer. But as a kid, I didn't realize the pain coincided with bad weather most of the time. Anyway, in high school I used that as an excuse to get out of each class a few minutes early, and I'd go and use the bathroom, or try to at least, since as previously mentioned, I often don't know I need to go until it's too late, or almost too late, so I take that opportunity rather than the potential embarrassment. When really my leg usually doesn't hurt. Even though people, look at it and it looks awful and it looks like it's supposed to hurt all the time, it doesn't always hurt, just sometimes. And even when it did, I could often limp along at a perfectly fine speed. I didn't really need extra time, even if I was limping, usually. When it acts up, I can limp, or, at worst, have trouble walking at all. But, anyway, in elementary school, I did bring clothes with me to school until I figured out the bladder control I do have with my neurogenic bladder, because thanks to my medical issues, my mom was unable to potty train me. So that took until I was 8 or 9 or something. By then, I was in 3rd grade. Something I hated that I've never talked about because I guess it seems kind of dumb. I don't know. But I would do my Malone procedure and enema thanks to my imperforate anus-related issues after school. I had to do that every single day. Not everyone who does that needs to do it every day. Some do. I needed it every day. So that limited my ability to do any extracurriculars or to hang out with any friends I did make, and made me feel like I could never go to something like a camp, so I've never went to a camp. I did go, or anything of the sort. I did go to bowling club in high school. Somehow I managed. I believe that was on Fridays, weekly maybe? I can't remember. I do remember enjoying that, and that being worth some pain once in a while with my stomach issues. But it's not like it went on forever. It just, maybe delayed me an hour or two or something. I don't remember. Because I had nice friends there to bowl with, and it was fun. And I'm really glad I did that. Those are definitely fun memories. I don't think the bowling club exists anymore, because I think it burned down. But academically, I was fine. Not a straight A student, but a good student. Strong and weak in different areas like anyone else. Because kids are, kids, I didn't have a lot of friends because physically disabled. As well as being undiagnosed neurodivergent, I lacked the social skills to make friends, but somehow I normally always had one friend, at least. Other kids who normally, for some reason or another, were also outcasts, for lack of a better word. And looking back, I imagine I'd find many of them also undiagnosed neurodivergent, as we seem to find each other before ever knowing why we work so well together. Or sometimes maybe just a really nice kid. I was made fun of sometimes, but honestly most kids just ignored me, and I was mostly fine with that since I tended to have at least one friend. I didn't need many. I did get the sense as a kid I didn't fit in some way unrelated to my physical disabilities. Undiagnosed neurodivergent turns out, and of course, my physical disabilities tended to be embarrassing, so that did not help whatsoever. Combined, I just felt alone and like an alien if I thought about my peers at large. And also being told I was supposed to fit in with the girls when I didn't know how to do that, because turns out not a girl probably didn't help either. But usually there was someone kind around, or a fellow outcast, for lack of a better word. Not always, but usually. And there were a mix of genders. It's just whoever the hell was nice. There's usually somebody nice. Even among a bunch of asshole kids. Of course, I'm just talking about my own experience. My medical issues did mean I missed a lot of school and could never get any, reward for attendance, which often made me jealous of other kids who could, knowing they didn't have the medical issues I do. So taken all together, school wasn't easy. Being multiply disabled made school difficult in ways, but as I mentioned, I did make friends, and while I didn't do much, it's not like I never did anything. And in high school, I'd even bike over to a friend's house some blocks away after I did my balloon the days I was up to it. I graduated high school in 2007. That's it. I apologize if that's a bit all over the place. But regardless, you could still see it made some things difficult and it wasn't easy. But I also had good points too. I had friends. I did do some things. I managed to get through school. So, a bit of good and bad, I guess. So, that was my experience growing up with vacterl and going to school.